Are your garden weeds getting you down? Stick around and I'll show you my top organic methods to get rid of these pesky little plants once and for all. I think we can all agree that the most frustrating part of gardening is dealing with weeds. They pop up everywhere, they look horrible, they're as tough as nails, and if you're not careful, they can really take over. Weeds are basically just plants growing in an undesirable location. The most common and annoying ones are so successful due to their all-round toughness and their incredible ability to self-seed. Some weeds can also spread underground through stolons and rhizomes, which are basically little roots or runners. Let's face it may not be the quickest or the easiest method, but manually removing weeds is definitely the most effective. Weeds like dandelion, lamb's tongue, thistle and dockweed have a strong taproot that can be extremely difficult to pull out by hand. In this case, I recommend using the Hoselink stand-up weed puller, which pulls the whole weed out, taproot and all, with ease. For weeds like clover, chickweed, oxalis, flickweed or bindi, I like to use the Hoselink garden weeder. Its strong two-pronged head gets right under the weed while the perfectly sized metal hoop levers against the ground to help pop the entire weed out. If weeds find their way into your paving, brickwork or driveways, Hoselink has another great little tool to help you pull out the weeds from those hard to reach places. The hand scythe weeder is perfect for this. And it's great for scratching up the soil for your shallow rooted weeds as well. When manually removing weeds, the most important thing to remember is you need to remove as much of the root system as possible. Otherwise, it's very likely you'll see that same little weed again in a couple of weeks. If removing weeds manually isn't your cup of tea, then you may want to try an organic weed killer instead. These sprays should mostly be used for spot spraying weeds in your garden or pathways, but not in your lawns as it will kill the surrounding grass. Please be very careful when spraying and only do so on a calm day to reduce the risk of drift spray from any breeze. As with all things in life, prevention is better than cure. And the best way to prevent weeds popping up in your garden is to regularly compost or mulch the beds. Weeds need sunlight to germinate. So if all the weed seeds on the ground get covered in a layer of compost or mulch, they can never germinate. Trust me when I say this is the secret to keeping weeds out of your garden. Not only does it stop them, but it also keeps the soil at a more even temperature and helps retain moisture, meaning your soil and plants will be healthier too. It's a win-win. Another way to prevent weeds getting out of hand is to pull them out as soon as you see them. This will prevent them from flowering, forming seed and spreading. Getting to your weeds before they go to seed is super important. Some weeds can produce thousands of seeds from one tiny plant, so no more turning a blind eye. Another successful method is competition. And this is particularly good for lawns. The goal here is to make the surrounding plants like ground cover or lawn so healthy and vigorous that they cover the ground completely and become super dense. This eliminates any sun getting to the weed seeds on the ground, which stops them from germinating. With lawns, I like to feed them every 3 months with Hoselink's lawn fertilizer. I also like to lift the lawnmower cutting height just a touch to allow the grass to fully cover the ground. This means you may have to mow the lawn a little more often, but at least you won't have any weeds. Unfortunately, there are a lot of myths out there about how to organically remove weeds. Although some of them may slightly work, a lot of them will damage the soil even more than the weeds we are trying to kill, so please be careful with what you read online. If you do have an organic method for killing weeds that actually works and is safe for the soil, I'm all ears. Just leave it in the comment box below. And if you'd like to learn more about different types of weeds, head over to our blog at hoselink.com.au. Thanks for watching, and I hope that helps you get on top of your weeds. Happy gardening. If you enjoy getting out in the garden and want some more tips, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel up here, or go and watch another video just here.